Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to day 8 of a 10-day series of positive attitude. Over last 7 days, we have discussed about different attitudes, honesty, we discussed about humility, and we will now try to use those attitudes in our daily life because listening is one thing and implementing it in our life is second. If we are just listening to attitudes and not implementing those in our daily life, it is of no use. Because once we start implementing, we will see it effects and we will see how implementing these small things in our life, we can just empower ourselves. We will see that our outlook towards life changes in a positive and a brighter way, and everyone around us will feel that we are becoming the lighthouse for them, that we are becoming a source of energy for everyone around them just by using these attitudes in our daily lives. We discussed about honesty yesterday. So we understood honesty is being truthful to ourselves and also keeping our intellect clean again and again. Like we in our daily lives, in our house, we do cleaning every day or maybe we do cleaning weekly because The dirt gets accumulated over one day or over a week. Similarly, on our mind, we tend to accumulate lot of negative or waste thoughts. And it is very important we clean those thoughts regularly. Because if those thoughts are not cleaned regularly, they start smelling, and that starts becoming our personality. So to have a very positive personality or a very positive attitude, we need to keep our mind clean so that there is no clutter on our mind. And that is being honest with ourselves. Just responding to everyone with our own goodness and keeping our mind clean. Just having pure and clean wishes for them, not holding on to any negativities for them. Today, we would be discussing attitude of thinking positive. We will see who create thoughts and how we can check, keep checking our thoughts and keep making a change to think positive. Before diving into thinking positive, we will start with a short meditation, and in the meditation, we will check how we can use the attitude of honesty, which we discussed yesterday. Let's sit back and imagine ourselves lying on the grass. And looking at this beautiful view. We inhale in fresh air and inhale out any negative thoughts, stress of the day. We again inhale in the coolness of the air and inhale out all the negativities, all the tensions we have. Now let's go on a journey of being honest with ourselves. On the journey of honesty, ask ourselves, is my mind cluttered with negative thoughts about myself, others? I can be only honest with myself if I am being true self. My true self is very pure and elevated, who is filled with good wishes and pure feelings for everyone around me. I reflect on my virtues, on my positivity. I understand peace, love, wisdom, happiness, being joyful, are my original virtues. They are original me. I am embodiment of love, peace, happiness. I see these energies flowing through me and spreading out from me, cleaning my aura, cleaning my mind. I ask myself, can I use these virtues in my daily life with myself or with others? If I use these virtues, how would my relationship become with others? My relationships will be full of harmony if we start cooperating, accepting each other of who they are, and not judging them for their mistakes, but accepting them and filling them with our power, with our positive intentions, and elevating them. If I use my original qualities for elevating others, I myself will become elevated. I will start feeling peace within me. I will start feeling calmness within me. And if I empower others by thinking of God as my companion, by thinking Him as my source, I can make miracles. I can change anything negative into positive. I can change anyone's wrong intentions into pure feeling. I can transform them by being honest to me, by looking at my originality, by using my virtue. I reaffirm myself today to that I will be honest with myself by keeping my intellect clean for others, by keeping my intellect clean for myself. I will not keep any garbage in my mind. I will connect with God. I will take His powers and clean my energy, clean my aura. Om Shanti. Let's start discussing about attitude of thinking positive. So before starting of thinking positive, we need to understand who is the creator of thoughts. To explain this by an example, we are looking at a lotus which is in mud. Say there are two people, and when they are looking at it, the first person can look at it thinking that it's a beautiful lotus. The other person can think it of that a flower in a mud. Even though the situation is same. So the lotus here can be considered as a situation in our life. Though the situation is same, the reaction of two people are different towards it. So what we understand from here is the creation of thoughts and what kinds of thoughts I create in any situation is my choice. At present, it can be that I'm not able to create those positive thoughts, but I have the ability to change those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Here, the person too can change his thought process by doing a checking and changing and seeing it as a beautiful lotus instead of a mud. So, in our daily life, we create four kinds of thoughts. And today we are working on the attitude of thinking positive, which is about positive thoughts. But it is very important to understand the category of thoughts we generate throughout the day. So, throughout the day, we might create positive thoughts. Positive thoughts are the ones which are very beneficial and filled with very pure and good wishes for everyone and myself. And this will always give you, enrich you with peace and calmness. And second is negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are usually when we are thinking very low of others or myself. These thoughts will always be harmful, like cheating, thinking of cheating or providing harm to someone are all negative thoughts. Then come necessary thoughts, the thoughts related to our daily routine, like thinking what thing should I be doing, planning for my dinner or lunch. Those all are my necessary thoughts. And base thoughts are thinking too much about future or thinking about past. Like if something wrong has happened to him and just over analyzing why did this happen to me are base thoughts. And today we will concentrate on seeing how we can generate positive thoughts in ourselves. So every thought we can think positive only if we are creating positive thoughts which are beneficial to others. And how can we check the thought we are creating is positive or negative or wasteful? Is when we are creating the positive thoughts, it will not create any disturbance in me or others. So every thought we create about ourselves or others or any situation is an energy that we are emitting out. Like every word we speak is reaching the other person. Similarly, every thought we speak is reaching the other person. And we can change the kind of thoughts we create by changing the amount of information and the kind of information we are taking throughout the day. in our daily lives, we might have seen a person is very positive, and then other person is thinking very negative in any situation. So how can we change? Say if I'm a person who thinks very negative, how can I change my perspective about life? Is just by having the positive information. What I listen throughout the day, what I read, and what I watch throughout the day is the information I am giving to my mind. Let's consider an example that if you are calling your spouse, or maybe you're calling your friend or your child, and they are not picking up your call, what are the first thought you create? Are they positive or negative? So if my friend or my spouse or my sibling is not picking up the call, we tend to think that, oh, something wrong might have happened to them. We never think that something good might have happened to them. Why is that? We always had the negative thought because we are consuming too much of negative news nowadays about maybe abduction or maybe about accidents. Like we see so much information through news about these things that when we are trying to call one of our near ones and they are not picking the call, we tend to think negative. But every thought we create here is reaching that person. Even though we love them so much, because of getting wrong information throughout the day, we are not able to think positive, and due to this habit we are sending negative thoughts to them, which is an energy we are sending to them. So the only way we can start thinking positive is reflecting on how or what kind of information we are listening, reading, or watching through news, through social media, or maybe through TV. So let's start a short meditation, and in on this meditation, we will reflect how we can check and change the thoughts to think more positively. Let's sit comfortably and see this mystical swan. We are on a journey of thinking positive. We are on a journey on imbibing the attitude of positive thinking within ourselves. A magical swan picks only pearls instead of stones. Like a swan, let's try to pick only positive information instead of stones, which is negativity or negative thoughts or wasteful information. We have a choice what we feed our mind. The pearls chosen by Swan are just like thoughts in any situation. In any situation, let's be like a swan and create only elevated thoughts, which would be pearls, and we will be choosing pearls instead of stone. Let's use our wisdom and ask ourselves in any situation what are right or wrong thoughts, what are positive or negative thoughts. Let's ask ourselves, in order to empower ourselves or fill ourselves with peace, what kind of thoughts I should be creating. Let's consider a soul with whom we have conflicts. The person can be at home, can be one in our family, or can be any of our friends, or the person can be in office. Now, wearing the dress of a swan who pick only pearls in others, let's look at that soul and all the negativities we see in that soul are all stones. Now ask ourselves, can we see any quality of pearl in them? It can be their discipline, their hard-working nature, their way of thinking positive, their enthusiasm. Let's think about it. Now ask yourself, and use your wisdom while looking at that other soul. What should I be picking from them? Their negativities or their positives? Let's practice the kindness and our true qualities and focus on only positives in them, and let's not pick stones from them. Now let's reflect on ourselves and ask yourself, what was the first source of information I picked today in the morning? What was the first thing I did in the morning? Was it checking social media? Or maybe news? Now ask yourself, if my first thought is my foundation of the day. If my first action would be my foundation, what should be my first action in the morning? Because the information I will take in the morning will be my foundation, and to build a pillar on that foundation, the foundation should be very strong. And my foundation of the day can be strong only if I imbibe, read, listen, or watch to any positive spiritual knowledge which empower me. Now let's ask ourselves, what was the raw material I prepared for the foundation during night for my next day? What was the last thing I do before sleeping? If I want my morning to be positive, pure and powerful, my last thought during night should not be any news or wrong information through social media. My raw material should be pure, positive, and powerful. This way, if I change the information I am taking in, I can change what I think. I can change the attitude to thinking positive in any situation. If I take the right emotional diet, then positive thoughts or thinking positive will be my attitude. Let's be an holy swan who picks only positive activities for me throughout the day, so that I can become the one with the attitude of thinking positive. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's try to make sure that while sleeping, our last thoughts are very pure and positive, and we clean our baggage. And also make sure that in the mornings, the information we take during our first hour is very positive. Om Shanti.